Hey everyone, this is DeLeon with Real Broker, and today I'm with Michelle, a mortgage professional who helps buyers navigate one of the most important parts of purchasing a home, the loan process. If you're thinking about buying a home or just want to better understand how financing works, this is going to be extremely valuable to you. Michelle, before we jump into the loan side of things, I'd love to start here. How did you get into the mortgage business and why did you choose this path?
Well, Ray, when I decided to join this industry was off of personal experience. Pretty much when I was buying my house back in, when I was buying a house back in 2018, I was working with a loan officer who was great, but felt that there was something missing. And so I come from a customer service background, was in the banking industry for now going 20 years. And I finally made the transition about 8 years ago. 8 years ago. And during that period, I saw how the process was of purchasing a home and the questions I was asking. And mind you, I had banking experience. And even then, I found it to be very frustrating, tough to go through the process. And so I started to do a lot of research on my own. And once I learned more about the mortgage industry, I was very interested in learning even more about it. And next thing you know, once I went down that rabbit hole of learning about this business, I became so intrigued and said, you know what? Maybe I should get in this as my career. And one thing led to another. Here I am today, 8 years from the moment I decided to make that switch.
Nice.
And it's been amazing ever since.
Good. It seems like you like your job. And that's our main goal, right? We have to like our job. We won't be good at it, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, I love my job. I've done other jobs. I've done like 12 other jobs, but honestly, I like it. I like meeting people and I like hearing their stories and helping them reach their goals, right?
Exactly.
So I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, right? Help the audience out with the loan process, right? Because the scary part is like, how do I know my credit score? How much money do I need to put down? There's so many questions, right? It's endless questions, but we want to answer 5 questions to get them on the right path, right? So let's start off with question number 1. What would be a buyer's first step in the loan process? What would you recommend they would do?
So recommendation first is we want to make sure you know what you can buy, right? Ultimately, we want to work on what your budget is, what the loan amount you'll qualify for, because the last thing you want to do is go and view a house, fall in love, only to find out you can't afford it or it's outside your price range. It can be very heartbreaking knowing that you found the perfect house and then later find out, sorry, you can't buy it. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, the first thing that you'd like to do is speak with the loan officer, that would be me, to go over your finances and figure out what the best loan option is going to be, because every buyer is different. They're in a different financial situation. They're in a different buying situation. So I'm here to help you through that process from start to finish.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to copy her and be like, first thing you do is find a good realtor, because then they will connect you with Michelle and get you on the right path, because you don't want to be lost and just kind of looking at houses for 6 months and then you don't qualify, right? Or you need to fix something on your credit and you look at 6 houses and you got to stop and you're going to miss out on that house. So I'll put you in the right path. You'll talk to Michelle and get all that done first. Have get pre-qualified. That way, when you look at a house, you know you can afford it, right? So a lot of the big problems is people look at houses they can't afford, right?
Exactly.
And then they just waste 6 months looking at houses $500,000 when they can afford about $400,000, right? So let's do that. Let's get those steps out of the way first. That way you can be happy and look at houses that you can buy and not be disappointed. Exactly what she said. All right, part 2, everybody's big fear, the credit score, right? So how do you find out their credit score and how do you get them past that point?
So one of the things that I hear a lot is Michelle, I heard that I need to have a 800 credit score in order to buy a house. That is absolutely not true. Credit score is something that, yes, a lot of people will say, oh, I'm scared because I have a low credit score. Well, what is low? What do you consider to be low, right? That's one of the questions that I ask my potential buyers. Well, let's talk openly about your credit, and we can go from there and determine if you indeed can qualify or not. Here at REV Mortgage, we work down for government-backed loans, which is FHA, USDA, and VA. So it's down to a 580 credit score. For our VA military servicemen and women, we have the option to go down even to 540. Now, does it mean that everyone is going to qualify at that score? No. Every credit situation is different, so it's very important that you speak with me to know what your options are. Conventional, the same thing, we can go down to a 580 credit score. And from there, we can determine, okay, what your down payment will be, what your interest rate will be, so on and so forth.
Awesome. Because people, and also, what if their credit scores are really low? We have ways to help them improve their credit.
Absolutely. We have resources not only in-house to help you and guide you what you need to do to improve your credit score. We also have third-party affiliates that we've partnered with that are trustworthy, that have gotten our clients to get a much higher credit score. So when we refer them out, they will speak to these individuals, and from there we have an open communication going back and forth to see where they stand. That way, the moment that their credit score is right where we need it to be, we jump right at that opportunity to get them into a loan.
Awesome. Let's go to the next question. How much money do they need to save up to buy a home?
That's an interesting question. When it comes to money, ultimately, it's going to come down to each person's financial situation and what loan product they're going to go with. As first-time home buyers, we have loan options with down payments anywhere from 0 to 5%. There are other options as well available where a down payment might go upwards to 20%. Now, putting the down payment aside, money that I suggest for anyone looking to buy a house to have is at least 2 to 3 months reserves. Now, what are reserves? It's just money you have saved. And it's going to usually be the amount of your projected monthly payment. So if your monthly payment is $1,000, if we say 2 to 3 months reserves, that's $2,000 or $3,000. Now, the reason we would have that as a suggestion is because anything can happen when you purchase a home. If something were to break and needs to be replaced, we want to make sure you're taken care of, where you're not having to struggle to find the means to be able to afford a cover, a new washer, a new dryer, new AC unit. You can easily go into those reserves to take care of those items. But besides reserves, when it comes down to down payment, if zero money is needed, then there's no funds that are going to be needed at that point to purchase your home.
Okay, great answer. Thank you. And the next question 4 is, what common mistakes that people made before they maybe they're get approved, right? What are the common mistakes they make while they're approved? They don't do this, don't do that. I had a client that he got approved and he bought a truck, right? So then we're under contract on a house and he can't close because he bought a truck like 2 weeks before we closed. And I told him in the beginning, don't buy anything. But they think the process is over, but it's not over, right?
No, the process is not over until you get the keys to your home. Up to the last second, when you finally get the keys, that means that property is officially yours. So from start to finish, the things that I will always advise buyers, anything that will require your credit being ran or even the movement of funds, you must talk to your loan officer about it, because Anything that is done without notice can cause either delay or even from not being able to close. The two most common things we see is credit impact and funds to close. So when we talk about credit impact, we're talking about any additional liabilities that may pop up on your credit report because either you applied for a credit card, applied for that car, like you mentioned in that scenario. As well goes on with funds. I understand I have families that say, we're going to go on vacation because we officially are buying a house. We got cleared clothes. We decided to take that trip to Disney, or we decided to go to Vegas. Well, even if you're doing a trip, you talk to us to let us know, okay, are you still going to have the money for your closing? Mm-hmm. Even if you have zero money due, you still want to talk to us about any changes that you foresee coming up, whether, again, it's on your credit or your funds.
Yes, because Disney is expensive.
It can.
you might need a loan to take out a loan just to go to Disney.
We love Disney, but it can get a little pricey.
Okay, question number 5. What's your best advice about buying in this market? Like, every market is different, right? So 6 months from now could be a different market. 2 months from now, next month could be a different market. So what's your advice in this market, the current market right now?
In this current market right now, we've seen a flip, a change within just the last couple of years. Everybody knows they always go back to, well, during COVID, interest rates were really low. Well, when something like that happens, it becomes a seller's market because there is such a high drive in buyers. Well, this market has shifted. Houses are sitting a little bit longer than usual. And when something like that happens, it becomes a buyer's market. Mm-hmm. Now, for buyers, that's a great thing for you because now you have more leverage. And that leverage would be either negotiating the price of the home. You can also negotiate seller concessions. What does that mean? Those are credits that the seller can give you to pay either all or a majority of your closing costs. That means it's saving you money at the closing table. Who doesn't want to save money, right? So again, you're saving money long-term on the purchase price itself of the property. You're getting money back at closing, perhaps, because you're getting those seller concessions. So in this market right now, it being a buyer's market, you want to take advantage of it. I understand there could be the rates are a little bit higher than you want it to be. Do not focus so much on the interest rate because one thing that can change is your rate. But the price of the home, once you're locked in, that's it. That will not change.
Yep. There's a lot of great deals in houses right now. And like you said, take advantage of those concessions. I have a realtor that knows how to ask for them. Because a lot of realtors, you need to know what you're doing, right? So you need to have a good lender like Michelle. She can tell me how much we can ask for or we can't ask for. So that was a great question. That's going to help a lot of people. All right, Michelle, I think we're ready to end the interview. And I want to thank you for your time and appreciate all this great information. And I'm going to link up all her information and mine that we can get in contact with us. If you need any questions about lending, don't hesitate. No questions are dumb. Any question you need, harass her or harass me, and we'll help you out. And don't think it's a dumb question because it might be a very important question, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So, like I said, we appreciate y'all's time. And like I said, if this helps you, share with other people you think they'll help as well. And we want to thank you. I appreciate you, Michelle. And we'll be doing more videos soon. And thank you for your time.